Hi, this is Maria Mandarino, licensed acupuncturist, certified spiritual director, and certified Enneagram practitioner. I'm also a certified Bach flower practitioner. Please, before we begin, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Your efforts here have helped to advance the channel, and I really do rely on your participation. So thank you for doing that. If you would like to work with me, I'll have more information on that at the end, but in the show notes as well, mariamandarino.com. I do offer spiritual direction and Enneagram work, Enneagram typing. All of that is done in the virtual space. If you'd like to work with me on a more immediate level with acupuncture and body work, I do that in the West Phoenix Valley. So if you're local, you can reach out to me as well. Today, I am going to talk about a word that a lot of people don't like, and that word is obedience. Most people think that obedience, I think in Western culture in general, we're brought up to believe that obedience means I am supposed to shut up and listen to what you say. Um, in the spiritual world, that's actually not what obedience means. In the world of spiritual direction, that's absolutely not what obedience means. Obedience actually means to listen. That part of it is right, to listen. What the listening is really about is calming your heart, centering your mind, dropping your energy into your center, and listening to the divine voice that speaks to all of us. And that's the essence of spiritual direction. And spiritual direction does not have to, and often does not include the Enneagram. It often does in my work. Usually the people that come to me because they want to do Enneagram work within the spiritual realm. Spiritual direction, most people in modern life don't know what that is. It's not spiritual counseling. It's not counseling at all. Um, you're working with a trained guide of sorts, somebody who is trained in the ways of spirituality to help you listen, to help you be obedient to to that voice, to that divine voice that moves, the spirit that moves through all of us. And sometimes when we're overwhelmed, often when we're overwhelmed, another word that I use is disconnected from our source, spirit, God, whatever word you put on that. You you can benefit from somebody kind of holding up the mirror. The person that's going to point out that thing that you just said and you just went right over, or that thing you went over without completing that sentence. And that's the golden nugget usually. It's the person who slows you down because they know that you know that wisdom. And you're not linking up with it. So that's one of the things I think we do is we slow you down to hear your heartbeat, to help you hear and feel the movement of the spirit through you, to reconnect to those things that through stressful living we become separated from. So what obedience is not? Obedience is, again, not being told to just shut up and listen to what someone else says. That's never going to happen in spiritual direction. And what it is this ability to slow down, center, trust, and discern the movement of the spirit in your life. Sometimes that can look like patterns of things that just line up, patterns of experience, patterns of people who show up in your life, patterns of behavior, doing the same things over again and getting the same results that you really don't want. That can be an odd kind of an expression of the spirit, kind of asking you to seek out what you need to change there. That's something else we do in spiritual direction. If you keep repeating the same behaviors over and over, and you're just banging against the wall, not getting the things that you're seeking and want, we look at that. It's one of the things that we look at. So it's a whole different use of the word obedience. And again, it's a word, obedience makes people uncomfortable. Another word that makes people uncomfortable is discipline. And there's some discipline in spiritual direction, ideally. I don't discipline anybody. Discipline is structure. It's and structure determines function. So what does structure mean to the person that I'm working with? It can mean different things to different people. Okay. Structure can be just making a point of going to bed early and getting up early to have that half hour in the morning to meditate or exercise, or however it is that reboot, basically. So yeah, these words, these ancient words, basically that we connect a lot of the times to organized religion, that we shut down to because they make us really uncomfortable, because basically these words have been misused in our past. And part of what I think I hope I do with people in spiritual direction is get them comfortable with these words, because they're actually beautiful words when they're used to empower you. And obedience and discipline can be used to empower you, to reconnect you to the spirit, to your spirit, to divinity, to God, to the universe, whatever word you use in your definition of connection with the higher realm. Okay, because that is the goal. That is the goal. And to have somebody on that road to share your journey, share your fears, share your frustrations, and someone to laugh with, someone to cry with. A lot of that happens too in spiritual direction. A place to lay the burdens down with someone that you can trust and feel safe with. So that's part of the job too. So what I want to leave you with is contemplating, which is another spiritual direction word, contemplating the 9 ways to listen through the Enneagram. Whatever that comes to mean for you. For this episode, I'm going to keep it super simple and not go into the 9 types, but go into the triads of the triad of the body, mind, and heart. The goal is to be balanced in all 3. The reality is we're usually super dominant in one, somewhat competent in the other, and usually checked out of the third one. So in spiritual direction, we try to bring body, mind, and heart together as well. So I'm going to ask you to do some contemplation and leave you with these possibilities. As a body type, how can you be obedient? Again, I'm going to, because we have deep formatting with that word. So I'm going to say, how can you be obedient as a body type? How can you listen? How can you listen with your body, with your body's wisdom? Okay. Heart types. How can you be obedient through your heart? How can you listen through your heart's wisdom? Okay. And head types. How can you be obedient through your mind and your thoughts, your mental space? How can you listen through your mind, through your thoughts, and through your mental space? That's a tricky one for head types, because you can often get gummed up in there. And that's where taking it down to your specific Enneagram type and the characteristics of your type is going to help you more. But I would also say, because we are dominant in one, somewhat competent in the other, and incapable usually in the third one, or deeply struggling with the third one is a better way to say it. Lean into the one that you're somewhat capable in. So if you're head type and you have access to the body, lean into the body energy. If you're a body type and you have some access to the heart, lean into your heart. So do a little bit of a Tai Chi with this, okay? Don't just stay in your dominant area. Don't just stay in the head, heart, or body. Do that first. Try to determine obedience through that, and then lean into the next one that you're somewhat comfortable in, whether it's heart, body, or mind. And then consider, and this one might be better for journaling or working with somebody, consider the one that you really don't have easy access to. And I'll use myself as an example. I'm an Enneagram 5, and the access to the heart energy is tougher for me because it's not in my wings and it's not in my lines. I don't have access to any of the heart types directly. So it's work for me to utilize that energy. So journaling might be a good way to do that. Artistic expression, maybe poetry. It really depends on your type, and how you use those outlets, those energetic outlets. So these are topics we do explore in spiritual direction. So if you want help, reach out. I do offer a complimentary discovery call to see if we'd be a good fit. And if we're not, I always encourage people to keep looking, because having a guide for this type of work is really tremendous. Spiritual direction, I should mention, is a little different from coaching, because there's Enneagram coaching, and then there's spiritual directors who do the Enneagram with the people that they work with. I think that the main difference is the connection to spirituality. Well, I don't think that is the main difference. It's we're more apt to talk about God, higher self, universe, again, whatever word you put on it, spirit. We are going to be more in that sphere, and not so much in the goal-oriented sphere of coaching. So it's a little different. There are goals and more spiritual goals, though. And just for the record, spiritual direction is said to be the piece that was extracted from psychotherapy when Freud took psychotherapy where it's gone. And that piece has just been extracted and kind of left to, another realm. And we're one of those realms. Spiritual direction is one of the areas where we take on those subjects that used to be part of that, counseling experience. So it doesn't replace counseling. It's a beautiful adjunct to it. Some people that are between counseling, have been in counseling, have taken a break from it, may go back to it, may not. They explore spiritual direction. And again, in my practice, usually the Enneagram. I don't exclusively use the Enneagram. I do have other resources that I do work with as well, depending on what your comfort zone is. So reach out if you have any questions. Again, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I wish you well with doing your inner work. And thank you for being here. Bye-bye.